What's up, guys? Crypto Muser here with your daily news and analysis in the crypto markets. Now, I have been away for way too long. I've been traveling. I've been in and out of apartments. I finally have my home base. I have my laptop set up. I have my everything together so I can start making videos again. A lot of stuff's been going on in the XRP community and the Ripple SEC lawsuit. So a lot of stuff to catch up on, but I hope you guys, my followers out there, are still with me and will still watch these videos. I started this channel a couple months back because I love talking crypto. I'm obsessed with it. I've been in the market for over 3 years now. I just want to get that information out to as many people as possible. I know this is a growing industry and that more and more people need to know this information. So, shout out to anybody who's followed me throughout all these months, and I look forward to putting up more and more videos in the months coming. And I know we're going to get more and more news in all of crypto, especially in this Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. So today I want to start out with some news that I saw. Thinking Crypto channel, Tony Edward does interviews with, he interviews congressmen, different people in the industry, and he had two especially interesting interviews lately. He had Tom Emmer. I believe he's the congressman from Minnesota, who's very pro crypto, very anti SEC. Great interview. You guys got to check it out. And there was also one with SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce, which was very funny because, you got to give it to Tony at Thinking Crypto. He asked all the tough questions, and she really wouldn't answer anything. She couldn't comment on any particular coin. She couldn't comment on the Ripple lawsuit. She couldn't comment on really anything, which is beyond me. And I'm going to get into a lot of the reasons why that's so ridiculous to me in this video. But before I start, I just want to say, if you guys could please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, will be very much appreciated. But let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to show you guys. So my internet is a little slow, so bear with me here. So here we go. The first, the interview with Tom Emmer. I don't want to show you clip by clip, but there was this nice thing that Notorious XRP put together that kind of shows you like the best of the best of this interview. But first of all, I tweeted out, shout out to Tony at Thinking Crypto. He has been knocking these interviews out of the park. Representative Tom Emmer is definitely one of the good guys, and it seems like after these midterm elections, it is on. Gary Gensler's days are numbered. Now let's just listen to this quick snippet here. It's a 4-minute video of just the highlights of this interview.
And it's well publicized that I've been very critical of Gary Gensler and the SEC as an example. When you have their enforcement division sending out sweep letters to the crypto community, by the way, and beyond, that they admit are outside of their jurisdiction and then making their lives miserable when they don't provide the information that they want. This is the wild, wild west of regulation. Look, this is going to happen with or without us. In other words, the evolution of digital assets and how people do business together and trade value for value. And it can either happen here in the United States or it's going to go elsewhere. That's why we have the bipartisan blockchain caucus in the House, which is the go-to organization in Congress for all things digital. And I would argue that just the growth of that caucus shows you where we're headed. Our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, even though crypto, to me, and the entire area of digital assets is not a Republican or a Democrat thing. The Democrats are currently in charge of Congress. They are the ones with the gavels and the subpoena authority, and they have not been holding bureaucrats like Gary Gensler accountable for his behavior. So I think what you will see, assuming that what we're seeing is accurate, that there will be a new day coming and that Republicans will take back control of the House and perhaps the Senate as well, you will see aggressive congressional oversight because that's only going to strengthen our system of government, right? Bureaucrats like Gary Gensler do not make the laws. But assuming Republicans win...
Just real quick. So obviously you know that this is dramatized. Notorious XRP's got the music behind and all this. He's dramatizing this shit. But bear with it. It is getting to a lot of good points that he's making here.
The House in the midterms in November, We will then have the subpoena power, which will force the SEC and Gary Gensler to comply with the requests in our letters. And we've sent several of them already. But it will give us the tools to hold him accountable. Unfortunately, Tony, I think the behavior of Gary Gensler and some others, Rohit Chopra, I'm going to call him, and others, are the guy at the FDIC, they've been limiting opportunities, especially in this fastest growing area, exciting area involving digital assets.
Some are asking, they wanted me to ask you, can you call for an investigation into such potential conflicts of interest? And how do we get the SEC to restore the confidence back in the public?
Republicans take back the majority. Nothing will stop us from fulfilling our responsibility to act as a check on the executive branch. And I told this to Gary Gensler's enforcement director. A new day is coming. So those listeners, those that you work with that are wondering what we'll do, that's about as direct as I want to get related to the specifics that you just brought up. We will be very aggressive in our oversight. And by the way, making sure that we hold them accountable once we confirm what we know they're doing. That's why I refer to it as the Wild West of regulators. I mean, we're still going to be talking about regulatory clarity, right? The Securities Clarity Act, Blockchain Regulatory Certainty Act, the Safe Harbor for Taxpayers with Forked Assets Act. These types of things, we're going to continue to be talking about them, whether or not we get legislation through the committee before the end of the year. That's a big question. But get ready. Strap on your helmet starting in January of 2023, because I think when it comes to digital assets, we're going to be in for quite a ride. I think Republicans and Democrats will be ready to throw those jerseys off, get on the same team, and see if we can move some of this stuff. And then our biggest challenge at that point will be, Chair Gensler, Director Grunberg, Comptroller Sue, and the CFPB director, who's frankly just been talk about a wild cowboy. It'll be holding them accountable and making sure that the president understands how significant this is to our economy and our future, so that we can get some of these things passed into law.
I mean, I know that was, like I said, that was dramatized as hell with the music in the background and all that, but that was one of the highlights of the interview. And you got to give it to Tom Emmer. I mean, he sounds like he is going to hold the SEC's feet to the fire when the Republicans win the midterms, House and Senate. I think it's basically baked in the cake that they're going to win with everything going on, inflation, just the way I don't want to get political on this channel, but the way everything's going in this country, it looks like we want to, give the other guys a shot at this, right? Especially with the SEC. I mean, if there was a big issue to get voters to the polls, it is crypto right now. And the fact that the SEC and the Democrats, ran by the Democrats, are basically trying to shut it down or doing their best to shut it down is going to bring a lot of people to the polls just for that one issue alone, right? So, great interview. Definitely, guys, check out the whole thing on Thinking Crypto channel. And so the next one I want to show you guys was the interview with Commissioner Hester Peirce from the SEC. Now, it is amazing that, and actually, I'll just read my tweet because this is what I want to say. What is the point of the SEC if they can't give us any information about how to invest our money safely without worrying about them coming down on us later on a later date and destroying the actual investors they are sworn to protect? It's time to abolish the SEC. I mean, the fact that she comes on this interview with Tony Edward, knowing that this is a crypto, channel that she's coming on, she's going to obviously get asked questions about particular cryptos or, how does the SEC view this or that, and she won't give us anything. It's like, you guys are there to protect investors, to give us the best knowledge that you guys have in order to, put our money in places that are going to be protected, right? Are going to be safe. But you can't even give us any information at all? I mean, what good are you? What are you there for? You're there to protect the banker cronies. You're there to protect the status quo of the financial system, obviously. I mean, we thought that she was a good one, crypto mom, right? That's what we called her. But obviously, I mean, yeah, she's in a tight spot here. But, be a whistleblower. Be the good guy for once. But obviously not. I mean, just listen to this one clip real quick. Just tells you this was basically the whole thing.
Chairman Gensler, unlike his colleagues, Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman, has not spoken about Ethereum, even though Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton have talked about Ethereum. And he just primarily talks about Bitcoin. Are you folks at the SEC going to be reviewing Ethereum's ICO? Because folks are wondering, is there a double standard here? Why did Ethereum kind of get a clearance, so to speak, and the other projects are getting, have targets on their backs?
So Tony, you and I both read Twitter, and so I can't talk about potential investigations, rumors of investigations, particular tokens, particular companies. I just can't talk about any of those kinds of things.
So basically, you can't talk about.
Gensler,
So basically, you can't talk about anything, right? You can't talk about the particular companies, cryptos. So what are you on this interview for? What can you give us anything? No, obviously not. And the fact is, she says that that she can't comment any particular crypto. The past administration, Bill Hinman himself said that Ethereum and Bitcoin weren't securities. So, it just changed from administration to administration. You can talk about cryptos on one administration, but the next one you obviously can't, or all of a sudden can't. This is why there's no public. We don't trust you guys anymore. There's no public confidence in the SEC anymore like there ever was before. It's just amazing to see a woman come on to an interview like this, and literally you represent the SEC. You are sworn to protect investors, yet you will give us no information on how to safely invest our money. So, we live in a backwards world. As always, this is what has been going on. And the funny thing is, and I didn't want to even talk about this, but recently, I don't know if you guys saw that SEC came down with a lawsuit against Dragon Chain. So Dragon Chain is a crypto that is an ERC20 token, so it's an Ethereum token. It had an ICO, right, back in 2017, I believe, but they didn't have. I believe they built out their platform before they started selling tokens, right? So that would make it even more decentralized, or whatever you want to call it, than Ethereum itself. Because Ethereum had their ICO before they were fully built out. They're still not built out totally, and they had their ICO back in 2017. So if you're going to go after Dragon Chain, how hypocritical can you be to go after Dragon Chain when you won't go after Ethereum when they actually had an ICO just like Dragon Chain, but they actually were selling their Ethereum tokens before they were built out? I mean, it just leads us to believe further and further that the Ethereum free pass thing was an inside job, and it was corruption in the deepest levels of the SEC. I mean, how hypocritical can you be? And how blatantly hypocritical can you be? Unbelievable that we continue in this charade that the SEC continues to go down. And, like we just talked about with Tom Emmer before, a new day is coming. I believe it. I hope you guys believe it. A new day is coming when the Republicans take control of the House and Senate. The SEC's days are numbered, and definitely Gary Gensler. Mark my words, and many people have said this in the XRP community. Gary Gensler will resign before he's brought in front of Congress, and really, because he hasn't showed up for any congressional hearings because he's afraid of them. He's afraid for the tough questions that are going to get asked, because he's going rogue, right? If you've seen what he's been doing and what he's been saying in these little videos he posts on Twitter, he went rogue, right? It's all power grab. It's all about Gary Gensler. He wanted to be the Treasury Secretary and all this. Well, guess what? That plan that he had, it's over. And I believe he knows it's over. And right now it's just basically trying to save face, but it's all done with. And Ripple, most people will say that, in the beginning of the lawsuit, they were all against Ripple, but now you see a lot of people jumping on the Ripple bandwagon because, Ripple is putting up a fight, and they're winning. No one's ever put up a fight against the SEC and really won, right? They all bow down to the SEC. The SEC will bring down a lawsuit. There'll be a settlement a couple months later, the huge payout, and then the SEC will move on to the next company, right? Well, guess what? Ripple didn't bow down. We've been almost a year and a half into this, maybe longer, right? It's been, a year and a half, year and 7 months, and Ripple's still fighting, and they will fight to the bitter end. And, I still think a settlement will come at some point from now to the end of the year, but it also wouldn't surprise me for this to go to the end, right? The SEC is not bowing down, and really, what do they have to lose? I believe at the end of this anyway, like we said, when the Republicans take the House and Senate, the SEC's days are numbered anyway. So what do they have to lose? And what does Ripple have to lose? Yeah, they're losing business in the U.S., but they have so much more to gain by taking this the whole way than they have for just, to settle with some measly whatever they're going to get. Brad Garlinghouse has said time and time again, they will not settle unless they get absolute clarity for XRP moving forward. So if the SEC doesn't have that to give in a settlement, then the Ripple team is taking this all the way. So anyway, the next thing I want to show you guys, this is Anderson, at X Anderson, great follow on Twitter, by the way. Reminder, so this is about the huge update we got with Ripple. They just signed one of the biggest banks in Brazil to an ODL contract. So reminder that as soon as an ODL market is open, regulations sorted, etc., it's open, and then it's all about increasing ODL volume higher and higher. I see this as an historic day since ODL is now available in the largest country in South America with a bank. Now, all those people out there, right, before, all those XRP haters and Ripple haters, I thought banks were never going to use XRP. You guys all said, no, banks are never going to use XRP, so why you guys, that's a shit coin. That's a bank. You guys call it the banker's coin, but bankers will never use it, right? Well, guess what? Banks are starting to use it. And maybe not in this country yet, but they're lining up. When this lawsuit's over, they will start using XRP. They've been piloting XRP through Ripple's ODL service for years now. There's documents showing that they've been piloting since 2015, some of these banks. So I'm telling you guys right now, do your research. Don't just believe me, some schmo on the internet. Do your own research. I've been doing my own research for years now, and I know exactly what's happening here. So, do your own research, obviously, but know that this is happening. Right? They've already built out their business globally. And especially with this lawsuit going on, they've took this as an opportunity to just go more global. 95% of their business is out of the U.S. at this point. But how much you think that will change when this lawsuit's over and XRP has clarity in the U.S.? What is that going to do to the price of XRP? Right now, you can't even buy it in the U.S. I think Uphold and one other small exchange is the only exchanges in the U.S. you can buy XRP. What happens when Coinbase relists XRP? What happens when Binance US relists XRP? I mean, what do you think? It's going to go down? Obviously not. So, not financial advice, but do you see where this is going? Anybody? So, the next thing I wanted to show, so this was funny too, that talking about moving the price, right? The whole thing that the SEC is trying to say is that Ripple controls the price of XRP, right? Because when you buy XRP, you're buying an investment contract in Ripple, the company, right? Like you're buying a share of Ripple, which is beyond me that they can even make that argument. Because I think that even John Deaton has put out a thread talking about that over 50% of people that bought XRP didn't even know Ripple, the company, what were. So it's like, how can the people that don't know who Ripple is be knowingly buying a share of Ripple when they're buying XRP? Obviously, that makes no sense. So Bill, he's a attorney from Australia, another great follow on Twitter. He said announcements like this bank signing in Brazil, announcements like this, Ripple, announcements like this that Ripple have no impact on XRP price. You are just doing it to embarrass Dr. Mentz, aren't you? So Dr. Mentz is one of the SEC's key witnesses in telling the court how XRP holders, when they buy XRP, what they think they're buying into. His big argument is saying that when people buy XRP, they're buying an investment contract into Ripple. Every XRP holder, even the secondary markets, we are, whenever we buy XRP, we're buying shares of Ripple, and we all know it. That's what Dr. Metz is saying, basically. We haven't seen the testimony, but we can bet like 95% that that's what they're trying to say. That's what their whole argument is, because in XRP being a security, it has to be a security to Ripple, right? Ripple has to be selling XRP as a security. And even in the secondary markets, this is the whole thing why John Deaton joined the lawsuit. If they just said that Ripple was selling XRP as a security, that's one thing. But they said even, me selling XRP on the open market, I'm selling a investment contract into Ripple to someone else. Which even going back to the Howey test, the oranges and the orange groves were not the security. It was the way the companies were selling the oranges, right? So it's like they don't even have their whole argument is on its face wrong. So it's like, that's why this is like, oh my God, it like irks me so much. And this is why John Deaton joined the lawsuit, because even they had it wrong. If you're going to go by the Howey test, which is the gold standard supposedly for securities law, and you won't even follow that, and then they're trying to like bend the rules of the Howey test. I mean, like I said, on its face, it is dead wrong. They are wrong with the law. They are wrong with the facts. And the fact is that Ripple never really controls the price. When Ripple has a huge signing of a new bank, or there's huge news with Ripple, it doesn't move the price. And, probably in Ripple's defense and in John Deaton's defense, they're going to show that to the court. Anytime there was a big, huge news event for Ripple, that never moved the price. The only thing that moves the price of XRP is the market, right? It moves with the market, with Bitcoin, with crypto as a whole. Ripple has no impact on the price. People will try to say that, Ripple's been selling on top of investors their whole time, but that's not a fact. That's an opinion that people will have to FUD XRP, but it's not fact. You can look at the history of XRP. Maybe once in the whole history of XRP, when they came out with XRapid, which is now ODL, was the one time it moved like 2 cents. But that's all they have in about 10 years of price movement, that Ripple does not control the price. So it's just funny that, this is a big story with Brazil. The biggest bank, and one of the biggest banks, I think it's top 3 biggest banks in Brazil, is now using XRP in their payments, right? And that didn't even budge the price. I think the price went down actually, because guess what? The whole market went down. Right? So good luck with that, SEC. Good luck with that argument. So I just want to show you guys this at the end of the video here. This is an interview that Brad Garlinghouse gave a couple of months ago, I believe. But this just shows you, and I'll just read my tweet. This tells you all you need to know about how Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse feel about this lawsuit, how this lawsuit is going. Now, let me just show you this quick snippet. It's about 2 minutes long, and then I want to just show you how this is important, what's moving forward in this lawsuit.
Start with what happens, right, if you do not get a ruling in your favor. XRP is called a security.
In the United States.
You would be out of the United States.
No. I was clarifying your question. The SEC only has jurisdiction in the United States. And in some ways, if you think about how the world is operating right now, it's as if the case has been lost. Other than on Uphold and maybe a few other exceptions, you can't trade XRP in the United States. Coinbase halted trading, others delisted it. So if Ripple loses the case, does anything change? Like, in some ways, if you think about how the world is operating right now, it's as if the case has been lost. If you think about how the world is operating right now, it's as if the case has been lost. Other than on Uphold and maybe a few other exceptions, you can't trade XRP in the United States. Coinbase halted trading, others delisted it. So if Ripple loses the case, does anything change? Like, it's basically it's status quo. Ripple is still growing very, very quickly.
Well, there are still people betting that you could win this case.
Well, I think that's the case. I'm betting that, just to be clear. I'm betting that not just because of the tone of the questions from the judge and these kind of things. I'm betting that because I think the facts are on our side. I'm betting that because the law is on our side. And I think the SEC has massively overstepped into try to take kind of jurisdictional ownership over something that is, I think they saw this gray area. They're like, hey, we're going to go in. it's like any company. If the country you're based in is making it hard for you to be successful, you go other places. I mean, on a percentage basis, our growth is much more outside the United States than in the United States. 95% of our customers are non-U.S. companies. So, look, we're going to continue to invest where we know what the rules are. Even though there are a lot of libertarian roots around crypto, my experience is most actors in crypto want to play by the rules. But we have to know what the rules are. And, at the SEC, going back to one of the things you asked earlier, they have been fighting us on the disclosure of certain documents. So this is an entity, by the way, which, keep in mind what the SEC does. They demand disclosure from the companies they regulate. And they won't disclose anything.
Right? How hypocritical is the SEC? They demand disclosure of all this information, but they won't. They've been fighting these Hinman emails and drafts for a year and a half now. So they want everybody to be transparent, but themselves, they don't need to be transparent, right? Just the SEC being hypocrites once, again and again and again, right? That's just their game now. But the main thing in this interview was, he's saying that right now the status quo is that basically people are going about business as if XRP is already a security in the U.S., right? They delisted XRP all over the U.S. They can't do business in the U.S. right now when this lawsuit is going on. So what's the difference between them losing the lawsuit and what's going on right now already? So just even with them right now, with this lawsuit going on, they are still growing. I think they 10x'd in business over the year over year. I mean, I just saw them. They were listed in the top 500 companies in the world right now. I mean, guys, so what are the upsides? So the downsides, and he even says, I don't think we're going to lose this lawsuit. I don't think anybody really thinks they're going to lose this lawsuit. But, if, the 1% or whatever, 0.0 whatever percent that they lose the lawsuit, nothing's changed. It's still the same thing we've been dealing with the last year and a half, but it's only in the U.S., right? So they just go elsewhere. They move to London, they move to Singapore, they move to Switzerland, and they go about business, and the U.S. just loses one of the biggest crypto companies in the U.S. That's why another reason why I don't believe that will happen. Because if we're about innovation in this country, or if we're about moving on to the new internet, basically what crypto is and blockchain, then why would we basically push out one of the biggest crypto companies in the world? It makes no sense politically. It makes no sense economically. It's not going to happen. That's why I think there's no way in hell that Ripple loses this lawsuit. But what he's trying to say is that right now the status quo is basically as if we lost the lawsuit, right? So what do you think happens when they win the lawsuit? You think things will change a bit? You think that will maybe change the price of XRP? You think that will, and Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple have said as soon as this lawsuit's over, they will IPO and go public. So you think Ripple shares are going to do anything maybe when they win this lawsuit? When they have full clarity with XRP moving forward and they can actually really grow their business, even without the U.S. is the biggest financial market in the world, right? Even without that huge market, they've been doing amazing globally. Add that U.S. market to this, and this is astronomical, right? So I will keep making these videos. I will keep giving you guys this information. I hope you like this. I hope you like the information I'm giving. Like I said, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Remember, I am not a financial advisor. Please do not take anything I write or say as financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.